Hello and welcome to the Pleasurepreneur Podcast. This podcast will help you create what you desire in your business with pleasure. Whether that be calling in your ideal clients, making more money, or creating a balanced business life blend. I'm your host, Regan Fig, pleasure and business coach, published author of A Mother's Pleasure, wife and mama to 3 little wildlings. However you're choosing to listen to this podcast, ask yourself, how can I make this more pleasurable? And do just that. I acknowledge the custodians of the land on which this podcast is recorded and produced, the Wadi Wadi people of Dharawal land. Now, let's proceed with pleasure. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I am trying to hold in my excitement because today the doors to the Pleasurepreneur Mastermind are officially opened. It is the last time you can get into this group for this year and work with me closely outside of one-on-one mentoring. And when I launch my offerings, I think of who will be entering and how this is going to change their lives, what kind of person they become from making the decision to invest in themselves and their business, and who they'll become over the next 5 months inside the mastermind. And I'm so excited because I know this works. I know that those of you who sign up will be leaving knowing how to make multiple 4 and 5 figure months. You'll be feeling confident and clear on your strategy to create those results outside of the just, post content daily strategy. By the way, that's not a very good strategy. Trust me, I know from experience. But yeah, I'm just excited for, the friendships that are going to be made, the collaborations that'll be created, the solidarity and the oh, thank goddess, it's not just me moments. And of course, for the yummy, delicious, slower, more fun, more spacious and enjoyable lives that will be created that then ripples out to, how you show up in partnership, how connected and present you'll become with your kids, the juice that you will squeeze from life, enjoying every day whilst running a business that has you fulfilled and I want to say financially funded, financially abundant and lit the fuck up. So see what I mean? I'm very excited. So excited to press play and invite you all in. Please DM me on Instagram to let me know you're curious and we can start that conversation. The earlier you're in, the more you'll actually get out of it. So I might do a whole podcast just simply selling the mastermind soon. But for today, I want to share a really powerful conversation that will be so eye-opening. So light bulb creating that you'll be thinking about this long after the episode ends and you'll be replaying it in your mind or even in your ears again because it is groundbreaking. It is how I have evolved from pleasure coaching to pleasure-led business coaching and how I've created multiple 4 and 5 figure months in my business, working around 10 hours a week. It is because of an unspoken link between pleasure and success that I have not seen anyone else speak to or identify. And so that is what we'll be talking about today. Today, we're going to be diving into a topic that is at the core of the Pleasurepreneur philosophy, how the same barriers that prevent us from opening to and experiencing pleasure are also the ones that hold us back from opening to and experiencing success in our business. How what is delaying our success and making it feel like it's taking forever, maybe? It's also what is delaying our pleasure and enjoyment of life and making it feel so out of reach. Even though we know we're meant for a life that is abundant in both money and pleasure, in both income and enjoyment, in both success and presence, in both growth and groundedness, this is what you're meant for. That's why you're here. Both, listening to this podcast and on this earth. You just don't know why it's not here yet, maybe. And after all the love, effort, time, and energy that you're putting in, you would like some answers. And what I'm sharing with you today, this is the answer. So buckle up. Now, on my pleasure-led business path, I have discovered that the journey to embracing pleasure and the journey to achieving business success are deeply woven together. So not just can happen at the same time, but deeply intertwined where one affects the other and something deeply foundational affects both. The truth is, the mindset that allows us to receive pleasure, aka like what we desire, what pleases us, what we truly want, is the same one that allows us to receive what we desire in our business. When we learn to break down those barriers and embrace what we truly desire, we open ourselves up to both pleasure and success. As I said, like this is how my business has, organically evolved from purely pleasure coaching to pleasure-led business coaching, because I realized that the core connection between pleasure and business success lies in our mindset and our beliefs about what we feel we deserve and what we allow ourselves to receive. I think I need to repeat that. The core connection between pleasure and business success lies in our beliefs about what we feel we deserve and what we allow ourselves to receive. I noticed that clients who held beliefs that they weren't worthy of pleasure or saw it as indulgent, frivolous, or unearned carried those same beliefs into how they approach success in their business. If you believe you have to earn pleasure or suffer first before you're allowed to enjoy it, like, needing to clean the whole house before sitting down to that cup of tea and a bicky, you'll likely apply that same pattern to business. You'll feel like you have to hustle, prove yourself, and really push to the edge before you're allowed to hit those income goals, to sign those dream clients, or let money flow in freely. In essence, those same inner barriers that keep you from fully opening to and experiencing and receiving pleasure, whether that's feeling unworthy or fearing judgment or like constantly prioritizing productivity, they're the same ones that hold you back from receiving success in your business, right? When we hold beliefs that we're not worthy of pleasure or that it must be earned through sacrifice, we bring that same energy into business. Our subconscious gets trained to think we haven't earned success either, or that we must suffer to achieve what we want, or that it's somehow selfish or greedy to desire more. This is the connection between pleasure and business success. It's rooted in your mindset around worthiness and receptivity. Think about this for a second. Like, show me what you want to achieve in your business and tell me there's no pleasure in that. There is so much pleasure in your business success. It will be different for everyone, but it can look like a sense of pride, accomplishment, self-trust, or self-confidence in being able to be generous with your money to your loved ones and causes you care about, to have the freedom to make choices about your life, where your kids go to school, or being able to homeschool, to have the ability to travel and, a sense of that self-created freedom, to have an improved quality of life where you're not rushing, where you're supported, where you have the ability to outsource the stuff that takes you away from what matters to you most. I'm talking about those kind of pleasures that come from business success. And when you know how to overcome the barriers to that, you clear a path to not just a pleasure-filled life, but to a pleasure-fueled business success. So, if you can identify what's holding you back from receiving pleasure, and there's many ways that we can do that, you can also identify what's holding you back from receiving success. And once you know how to move through those blocks, you open the door to both. You're here listening to this podcast because you are a badass. You do not subscribe to what society tells us about business success and personal pleasure, that one has to come at the cost of the other. You're not here to settle for a life that gives you just enough space and pleasure to have slow mornings with the kids, fit in a Pilates class and make the homemade meals, but still has you checking your account every time you buy groceries, still scrimping on things you never thought you'd have to scrimp on, still kicking ass for free or for a few hundred a month instead of thousands. And you're definitely not here to build a business that makes bank but leaves you bored, burnt out, and stuck in your own version of the rat race. You know you can have both. You know you can make great money in your business to book the family holiday, buy the good skincare, and never have to check your account approaching the checkout again, and live a life that has white space for what you desire to fill it with, to feel lit up and on purpose, present with the ones you love, prioritizing what matters to you most. You know you can have both business success and personal pleasure. You just haven't worked out the how yet. You can either work it out on your own, investing a lot of time, frustration, dare I say a few quits with a baby Q along the way, and costing yourself in aligned clients and missed opportunities. Or you can join us in the Pleasurepreneur Mastermind, where you learn how to create both the thousands a month in your account and the enjoyment in your life and relationships. The Mastermind is the room where you become the coach or mentor your clients have to hire, where you create offers you love delivering and selling with that shout it from the rooftops energy, making it so easy to create sales that feel simple and authentic, not salesy and awkward. It's where you set yourself up with a strategy that is ideal for you and the lifestyle you want to create for yourself that honors your desires and your top values. It's where you meet regularly with a group of like-minded women with the same focus to create multiple four-figure months, leading a pleasure-filled life. You know it's possible for you. You just have to reach out and claim it. Do that by sending me a DM to start the conversation or by clicking on the link in the show notes for more info. The doors to the Pleasurepreneur Mastermind are now wide open and waiting for you. Now, let's get back into the episode. So let's make it practical for you now so you're not left wondering what your barriers are. There's a number of ways we can do this, but let's go with this one for the purpose of simplicity. Now, you might like to grab a pen and paper or just, ponder this in your head, like come up with the answers in your mind. Do not overthink what comes to mind and just simply answer this question. If I was a magical pleasure genie, which sometimes I think I am, and I just now clicked my fingers and you will now experience pleasure in every moment of every day, what comes up for you? When I click my fingers, you'll have pleasure in every moment of every day. What do you notice inside your body? Is there a sense of resistance, immediate rejection, sense of contraction or pushing it away? Or feelings of shame and disgust? And what kind of thoughts pop into your mind? Thoughts perhaps of what will people think? I'm not good enough. I don't deserve it. Don't be so selfish. It's selfish to focus on myself and what I want. Or I should be doing something productive. I don't have time or energy for that. Or that's indulgent and frivolous. Now look, you'll probably get a collection of thoughts from sort of both ends of the spectrums, The ones that are yay, how exciting, that would be fun. And others that are more along these lines. These are the barriers to leading a pleasure-filled life and to your business success. Now, obviously identifying what our barriers are is really helpful, but unless we know what to do with those barriers and beliefs, it's not going to create the change we desire. This is the work I do with my clients inside the Pleasurepreneur Mastermind. In this mastermind, we go beyond just business strategies. And by the way, we keep them simple business strategies. We focus on uncovering and transforming those deep-seated beliefs that have been holding you back from both pleasure and success. We help you identify what you truly want, own it unapologetically, and claim it or embrace it with confidence. So this means that by the time you implement these strategies I teach you, you're not just going through the motions. You're aligned, you're empowered, and you're ready to receive the success you desire. It's like a clearing away, it's like a peeling back the layers of the onion or like a clearing away. So inside the mastermind, as I said, I don't just hand you business strategies and send you on your way. Instead, we dive deep into, peeling back those layers, into uncovering and transforming those beliefs that are holding you back from both. We help you identify, as I said, what you truly desire and to own those desires without guilt. And as I said, really claim them with confidence. So this means that you're not just learning how to run a successful business, you're also learning how to create a life that's filled with pleasure and aligned with your deepest desires. As I said, it's that kind of clearing out, it's peeling back the layers of the onion. It's not one step at a time and you have to do all of these steps. It's like peeling the layers back and creating that clear path to what it is you desire. That is what makes this process, this approach easy. That's why it feels easy to sign clients. That's why it feels easy to sell. That's why we enjoy selling what our offer is. That's why it feels easy to schedule our days and move through, our weeks, because we have done so much of this clearing away of the resistance, of the beliefs and the barriers that are holding us back from both pleasure and success. Yeah, so it is time for you to join the mastermind so that you can identify and untangle those barriers, to clear a path to the business success that you desire and call it in with ease, without that resistance or unworthiness or sense of selfishness, without needing to suffer or sacrifice or overwork, without needing to burn yourself out on the way. The mastermind is the room to be in to create multiple 4 and 5 figure months in your business whilst leading a pleasure-filled life. And this is one of the ways that we do it. Yeah, it's that holistic, foundational clearing away of what's not serving us to create success in our business and to create and open to and experience pleasure. So, if you're ready to break through those barriers, to embrace both pleasure and success, and to create a business and life that feels like a fuck yes, like I get to get up every day, that truly lights you up, I invite you to join the Pleasurepreneur Mastermind. We will transform those inner beliefs and make your desires your reality. As I said, today is the day doors are opening. You'll probably get this a few days after doors have opened. So doors are open right now. I'm excited. I cannot wait to see you inside. I cannot wait to see who you become through these months together, the connections that you make, the solidarity you feel, the money you call into your bank account, the way you learn to sell in a way that feels fucking amazing for you, and clearing that path to your unique desired success and pleasure and enjoyment and pleasure-filled life. That's it for today. I am now going to take my baby girl from dancing to have a cup of tea with my nan. She's 92 and she doesn't live far from us. So today is a day where we'll go and drink tea, and my daughter Thea will be looking through my nan's little jewelry boxes and playing with all those, and we'll get to catch up. So what a beautiful day. I hope you have something to look forward to today as well. And don't forget to ask yourself, what would bring me pleasure right now? And do just that. Bye for now.